was about 6 weeks ago. I sat with Caleb in his house. We schmoozed a little bit. We played some Madden together. And then I had to go, and it pained me to leave him. And that day, he was in a lot of pain on his couch. He couldn't get comfortable. So I gave him a fist bump, and I said, Caleb, I gotta go. And then he did the most incredible thing. He got up, and he pushed himself. And he says, I said, Caleb, what are you doing? He goes, Rabbi, I gotta walk you out. I said, Caleb, I can walk myself out. He goes, it's fine, Rabbi. I'm gonna walk you out. We learned from Caleb how to be a good person, how to care about others. That's his legacy.
It was always so important for you also that everyone be included. So it was no surprise when in school you would come to me on Thursday and tell me that you wanted to invite 4, maybe 5 friends for lunch on Shabbos, only to come home Friday from school and tell me, well, it's going to be 13 or 14. As your mother, I thank them, all of them, for their unwavering support, their constant love and devotion to you and your plight. Team Caleb will continue. Never did I hear you say, I can't, or this is unfair. Never did you complain about what you were going through. You met every challenge head on.
His fight inspired a movement. Team Caleb was born. I'll never forget the text I got from a friend with just a picture of 2 of his friends wearing the bracelet. That movement just grew from that day.
I was struggling a lot in Gemara, and I knew Caleb was really good at Gemara. So I asked him. I said, Caleb, can you help me out? He said, sure. Go in my locker and take my notes and take all my tests and take my Gemara and just study from that. And I took it. I found everything, and I noticed a box of candy on in the top shelf of his locker. And I was like, there's no way I'm gonna leave this locker without taking some candy. So the next time I saw him, talked to him, I was like, Caleb, by the way, I hope you don't mind if I take some candy every single time I go in the locker. And he's like, of course, it's there for you. And it showed me, despite Caleb's condition, how much he cared for everybody.
I had the privilege of getting to know Caleb and his family through my brother who married Caleb's sister Ariana. Throughout the weeks before their wedding, me and Caleb were able to develop a close friendship. Went mini golfing together, went out for pizza, and we were even able to play video games a couple times while he was in the hospital. He always had a huge smile on his face, and he was never sad or upset about the situation he was in. He had an amazing sense of humor and was able to make anyone around him cry of laughter.
Although Caleb seemed to be struggling a little bit, the first thing I truly noticed was a smile on his face, and that brought me a smile too. Through no matter what was going on in his life, he had a smile, and it taught me that no matter what was going on in my life, that I should always smile.
One Sunday when we were watching football, and he happened to be there, and he's like, let me look at your team, your fantasy team. And I never made the playoffs. I'm just not good at fantasy. But he said to me, he's like, Adam, you got this. Your team this year will make it. I didn't, but he always had that love and just that kindness that would just make you smile.
It was never about him. It was about, how are you doing?
And I would speak to him, how are you doing? And he would just the conversation was never made about him. He would always come back to me and say, I'm doing good, but how are you? And ask me how I'm doing and make the conversation all about me.
I knew Caleb, my first cousin, Josh Chigger, who's shot a bed here, his brother married his sister, and I met Caleb at the Ufruf, and even though he was very sick, he had a great attitude. He was laughing with everybody, he was having a great time, and he was really enjoying himself even through everything he was going through, even though everything he was going through. And I'm really excited for the Caleb Challenge to honor him.
I personally didn't know Caleb that well, but my brother was good friends with Caleb and was in yeshiva with him and went to school with him. During his time in yeshiva, Caleb had to go back home and was supposed to come back, but unfortunately he wasn't able to. So during his time back home, he had to make a wish. He could have got anything during his Make-A-Wish. A nice vacation, an awesome prize, whatever it is. But during this time, he decided to fly his friends back home from yeshiva and spend a Shabbos with them. That's the kind of guy that Caleb was. He flew his friends back home, spent an awesome Shabbos, was an amazing guy, and a loving, caring friend.
I had the privilege just to know who Caleb was around the community. I went to the same schools as him. Even though he was a few years older than me, we just knew who each other were. And like one thing I was able to really get from him was his care and his kindness for others. His smile was obviously super, super contagious. So one instance that I wanted to share was that sophomore year, my year, I had a crown. We went to the Columbus baseball tournament. Caleb already graduated by then, but he obviously loved baseball and wanted to show his support for the team. And Caleb was in the dugout. I was playing against Kushner, I think, one of the first games of the tournament. And I found out I was going to be the pitcher that day. And like I was like nervous. I was like one of the youngest ones on the team. It was like a big deal. And then Caleb, I guess, either saw my face in the dugout like 20 minutes before the game. And he comes out to me, he goes like, "Hey Lefty, what's up?" I'm like, "Hey Caleb, how's it going?" And he says, "Like, ready for the season this year?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? This is the end of the season, last tournament." And he says, "No, the White Sox." I'm like, "Oh yeah." Caleb obviously was a big White Sox fan, so am I, and he knew that. And he brought it up. We started talking for like 10 minutes about how excited we were for the season and like how great they're going to be. And then as soon as I know it, the game's starting. And then I pitched. I actually had a good day. And afterwards, I'm like, whoa, I was like really nervous before the game. Like, what happened? Like, what changed? And I realized like Caleb came out to me. He showed his care and kindness to me, like someone who he didn't really know so well, but was a few years younger. He was one of the younger ones on the team, and he comes up to me and he just starts talking, something we have in common, gets my mind off the game, and it totally changed my perspective and how I played that day, which was really, really big. And then I coming back a year later to Columbus, ended up winning the tournament for Caleb, had his jersey in the dugout, and took a picture of it, which was truly, truly amazing, especially because he had a chance to play for the team. And now in Chicago, where Caleb was, it's having now the Caleb Challenge, which we had last year, which really changed my Shana Aleph year, doing chazering all these dafim for Caleb, and seeing how much learning meant to him. And now we're doing it for him, and it really changes how the guys in Shana Aleph approach the rest of the year because of the Caleb Challenge. It's truly amazing to see what this does for everyone.
I really miss you. Really wish I could be in Israel right now, but I guess the next best thing is having some people here, having a great time with the boys. Hopefully Shabbos will be even better. And those murals, we'll have a good time. But have a good Shabbos and tell everyone I say hi.
I saw Caleb at the park. I was playing basketball and I was missing jump shots. And Caleb took it upon himself to come up to me and help correct my form a little bit. So he just gave me the classic pointers: elbows in, feet planted, focus, jump straight up, and it really worked. And even to this day, I still use the tips he gave me. And whether or not I'm thinking about it subconsciously or consciously, whenever I shoot a jump shot, I'm thinking about Caleb.
So he was just a huge asset to our Shana Aleph. And when he got sick and had to go home, remember, it was just a checkup originally. Everyone said bye, like yeah, we'll see you soon. And it turned out, like, unfortunately, he didn't come right back. And we wanted to know what we could do, like for his refuah shlema. So when Rabbi Rabaski came up with the idea for the learning challenge, all first year second year too, we all got super excited, like we could do something for him.
Not only is the Caleb Challenge really important for the merit of Caleb, it's also very important to his family. It would mean a lot to everyone who knew Caleb and to his family, especially since they donated the court to us. I think this is like a small way of giving back, and I think it would mean a lot to everyone if we tried as hard as we could to learn as many dafim as we could.
So all the guys, the challenge was originally to get to 3,000 blot of Gemara. He wanted to go 3,000 for his schos. And the guys came out fiery first day. We almost probably got like 700 maybe the first day. And then once all the guys started getting into it, everyone started getting into it. And before we knew it, we were at 3,000 in like a day and a half, 2 days. And Rabbi Bassi was like, let's go for more. So we just kept going. We ended up getting to, I think, over 4,000 the first year. And these are guys, for me, it was my first time really learning Gemara, and the atmosphere in the base was amazing. Like everyone, it's the first time learning it, the first time getting excited for it. Everyone would do the first daf kedushin over and over, Haisha Niknei. Everyone in the yeshiva was talking about it, and it was awesome. It was the first time that I think almost the whole yeshiva was instantly together, and everyone's super excited about learning. People were talking about it out of Sidarim, and it was something amazing.
challenge last year was awesome. Really got you to think about how valuable every minute of each day is, and even when you're freeing up for maybe 10 minutes, you can weigh out your options. Maybe take 5 minutes to learn and 5 minutes to just hang out, chill with your friends, do what you want, and it kind of gives you a better perspective on time management. To realize that you could make the most out of every single second that you have, and you're very limited. Because you look back and you see, wow, I only did this many boxes in so many days. I wish I did more. That's also where the concept of goals comes in. Because I think that's so important for Shana Olive kids and also Shana Bed kids to start setting goals. And that's what you say, I'm going to do a few boxes today, and that's your goal for that day. And you got to stay persistent and adamant in your learning in order to achieve your goals. And through your goals, you'll be holding in the sugya, and you'll understand all the material better, and you'll feel much more confident in shiurim, and everything's a blast. No question.
So after Shana Bet and Shraga, I wanted to stay in Shiva, so I went to Torres Chaim, and in Torres Chaim I learned Gemara most of my day, and I don't think I would have the love and desire to pursue learning Torah if it wasn't for that challenge.
I have the great opportunity to be visiting the Ida Crown students in Torah Shraga, and I heard about the wonderful learning initiative that they're doing here with Eli Nishmas Caleb. Caleb was a wonderful friend to all of his friends. He loved his friends, and his friends loved him back. And during his illness and afterwards, he has inspired many people to be involved in Torah and other acts of chesed. It is a beautiful thing to see that continues until now, inspiring others to engage in learning with Eli Nishmas.
And with this challenge, I think he would be he's looking down at us right now, and it's just he's overwhelmed by how much Gemara is being learned by the boys here. And I know if he were in this base medrash, he'd be steiging, and that's all he would want to be doing. And I think it's a great opportunity for the boys. And everybody's, I remember last year, many of the guys, their years took a turn for the better just because of this challenge. And it's really important to be on top of it and take advantage of it.
I think that over this next week, when we're learning in memory of Caleb, that we should really internalize all these values that he had, such as unconditional love, desire to learn, desire to help others, and really just take these values to heart and help carry on the legacy that Caleb left in this world.
What's up, everybody? Robert Vlasky told us you guys are doing the Caleb Challenge. We were in yeshiva with Caleb in the first original Caleb Challenge.
We remember how much it meant to him and his family and how much strength it gave him that so many people were learning for his refuah.
I remember how much guys grew from the learning during this time, how much guys were really learning stark, and I'm so happy that you guys are going to continue to grow in his memory.
Rachel Frankel, mother of the murdered son Naftali, once said, and I paraphrase, "I don't expect the world to remember my son. That is for family and for friends. My hope is that the world will remember all the good that was done in his name. And that is my hope too, my sweet boy, that all the good that came into the world over these past 2.5 years because of you will be remembered and be continued."
Okay guys, the Caleb Challenge is coming up, and it started 3 years ago, and we were supposed to do, I think, 1,000 daf in 2 weeks in order to help bring a refuah for Yisrael Yehuda Ben. At that point it was Dina Sarah, but now it's David Nechemia. So the challenge is just to keep his name going, keep the learning going that he would be doing, because we all know that he would be doing a lot of learning if he was still around, but we all have to pick up the slack, and this is a great opportunity to do it because there's nobody else that would be as inspired by this as he would. And it helped me grow a lot. It was like kind of early on in the year, and we just had to sit down and pound out learning, and it really got people going.
Yeah, hi, it's Shmuel. Matthew made a really good point. It was a serious turning point in the year, and everyone should take advantage of it and work hard, push yourself as much as you can.
Hi everybody, I'm Caleb's mom Dina. I understand that the Learning Challenge is about to start, and I wanted to send a personal thank you to all of you for participating. As some of you may know, Caleb was a student at Shraga for a very brief time, for just 2.5 months. But this is a perfect case where quality exceeds quantity, because those 2.5 months were, admittedly, the best time of Caleb's life. It was his only wish to be able to go back to Shraga and to continue his learning, but unfortunately that never happened. So I can't think of a better way to help perpetuate his blessed memory than with this learning challenge in Israel and at Shraga, places that were very special to Caleb. I want to wish you all good health and strength in all of your learning, and I look forward to following your successes and your progress throughout this challenge. Good luck, and I hope to meet you soon. Bye.
Good luck, everybody.
When I ask you to push like this for the rest of the year, 1 week is something that we could do. I was thinking to myself this morning, Caleb had every reason in the world not to come this year. I imagine that most people, if anybody would be in this situation, would not have come this year. Caleb's parents had every excuse in the book, and almost every parent would have taken this not to send him this year. To send Caleb this year, the Mesiras Nefesh that Caleb had and his parents had to send him, and then to go through day after day after day, and you all saw him going up and down the Shraga stairs and sitting on the buses on the Shraga Tiulim, and you saw him in the Beis Midrash, how weak he was, and he pushed anyway. That didn't matter. He had way more than any of us have getting in the way of his learning, and he did it anyway.